Chosen one, listen carefully because something unusual happened last night, and you may not even realize it yet. While you were resting, while your mind was quiet and the world around you seemed still, somewhere someone spoke your name in prayer. It was not loud. It was not meant for attention. It was a quiet moment between a sincere heart and God. Yet heaven heard every word that was spoken. You may have no idea who it was or why they felt moved to pray for you, but something about your life, your situation, or the weight you have been carrying touched their spirit deeply enough that they lifted your name before God. And what happened next was something no one expected. My beloved child, understand this clearly. Prayers spoken in secret carry a power that the world often overlooks. When someone mentions your name before God with sincerity, something begins to move in the unseen places of life. Last night, when that person whispered your name and asked for protection, guidance, or healing for you, heaven paid attention immediately. It was not a random moment. It was not an empty prayer spoken out of routine. It came from a heart that genuinely cared about you, and that sincerity created a response in the spiritual realm that surprised even the angels watching. You may have been unaware of it at the time, but that prayer reached heaven with a force that caused something to shift around your life. Situations that once seemed still began to stir quietly. Circumstances that felt locked in place may have started changing direction in ways you cannot yet see. And the most remarkable part is that this movement began before you even realize someone was praying for you. Before we continue, take a moment and type Amen in the comments if you believe that prayers spoken in secret can reach heaven and bring real change into someone's life. What you are about to understand next may reveal why that prayer was spoken for you at exactly the right moment. My beloved child, there is a reason that prayer was spoken for you last night, and it was not random. Something about your life, something about the season you are walking through right now, stirred a concern deep within someone's heart. Perhaps they noticed the quiet changes in you that others ignored. Maybe they sensed the heaviness behind your smile or the silence you carried when everyone else expected you to be strong. There are moments when people can feel that someone they care about is facing struggles they are not talking about openly. Even if they did not know every detail of what you have been going through, their spirit recognized that you needed support, and in that moment, they chose to bring your name before God. You see, the battles you have been fighting recently have not been easy. There have been times when your thoughts felt crowded with worry, and your heart carried questions that seemed to have no immediate answers. Some days you may have felt as if you were walking through life with a quiet weight on your shoulders, trying to continue your responsibilities while dealing with emotions that few people truly understood. You may have prayed silently on your own, hoping that things would improve, hoping that God was still listening even when life felt uncertain. Those moments of quiet struggle were not invisible, even if the people around you did not notice them. God has been watching every step you have taken during this difficult season. He saw the nights when you lay awake thinking about things you could not easily solve. He heard the prayers you whispered when you thought no one else could hear you. He noticed the moments when you tried to stay kind and patient, even though your spirit felt tired. These are the kinds of struggles that shape the heart, and heaven does not overlook them. When a person continues moving forward despite feeling overwhelmed, it becomes a powerful testimony of faith, even if that faith feels fragile at times. The person who prayed for you may not have known the full story of what you were carrying inside. They may have simply felt an urge, a quiet prompting in their heart, to lift your name before God. Sometimes this happens when someone remembers you suddenly, or when they feel a deep concern that they cannot fully explain. In those moments, they choose to pray, trusting that God understands the situation, even if they do not. Last night was one of those moments. Your name entered their mind, and instead of ignoring that feeling, they paused and spoke to God on your behalf. There is something very powerful about a prayer spoken for another person. When someone sets aside their own worries for a moment and chooses to ask God to watch over someone else, it carries a special sincerity. It shows love, compassion, and faith working together. Heaven pays attention to that kind of prayer because it reflects the heart of someone who truly cares. The prayer that included your name last night was not casual or meaningless. It was spoken because someone genuinely wanted God to protect you, guide you, and bring peace into your life. You may not know who that person is, and perhaps you never will. It could be a close friend, a family member, someone who crossed your path recently, or even someone who simply felt moved to pray for you without fully understanding why. What matters is not the identity of the person, but the sincerity of the prayer they offered. That moment of compassion created a connection between your life and heaven in a very real way. And this is why the moment matters so much. The prayer spoken for you arrived at a time when your heart needed strength, even if you did not fully realize it yourself. God heard every word that was spoken and understood the concern behind it. Nothing about that prayer was wasted or ignored. In fact, it became the beginning of something important that is now starting to unfold around your life. What you are about to discover next will help you understand why that simple act of someone speaking your name before God carried far more power than anyone expected. If you believe that God sees every hidden struggle and hears every sincere prayer spoken on your behalf, take a moment and type 111 in the comments as a sign that your faith remains strong, even during the seasons when life feels uncertain. My beloved child, the moment your name was spoken in prayer last night, something powerful happened in the unseen world. It may have sounded like a simple request spoken quietly by someone who cares about you, but heaven does not measure prayer the way people do. When a sincere heart lifts another person's name before God, especially during a time of concern or love, it creates a response that reaches far beyond what human eyes can see. In that quiet moment, when your name was spoken with faith, heaven listened closely. The prayer did not pass by unnoticed. It moved through the spiritual realm with a sincerity that drew immediate attention. You must understand that prayer has always been one of the most powerful ways heaven responds to the needs of people on earth. When someone speaks your name before God, they are essentially placing your situation into His hands. Last night, when that person asked for your protection, guidance, peace, or breakthrough, It became a moment where heaven began paying special attention to what has been happening in your life. It was as if a light was gently placed over your situation, highlighting the challenges you have been facing and the help that your heart may have been needing. And in that moment, something began to shift, not in a loud or dramatic way that the world could immediately see, but in the quiet ways that God often works when He begins to move in someone's life. Situations that once felt completely still may have started changing direction. Circumstances that seemed locked in place may have begun loosening quietly. Even things that were forming against you may have started losing their strength. This is because prayers spoken with sincerity often create movement in places that people cannot see yet. Heaven responds to love and faith, and that prayer carried both. The person who prayed for you did not do it out of obligation or routine. Something in their spirit felt the need to lift you up before God. Perhaps they were thinking about your well-being. Perhaps they sensed that you were facing something difficult. Or perhaps God simply placed your name in their heart for a reason they did not fully understand. Whatever the reason may have been, the moment they chose to speak your name in prayer became a moment that reached heaven with unusual clarity. When heaven hears a sincere prayer spoken for someone else, it often sets things into motion that the person being prayed for may only notice later. Guidance begins forming in subtle ways. Protection may be placed over situations that could have gone wrong. Opportunities that seemed far away may slowly begin moving closer. Sometimes the response from heaven appears as peace entering the heart of the person who needed it most. Other times it appears through people, conversations, or unexpected moments that arrive exactly when they are needed. Right now, even if everything around you still appears normal, something may already be moving quietly in your favor. That prayer has already touched areas of your life that may have been filled with worry, confusion, or uncertainty. God has heard what was asked on your behalf, and He understands the deeper meaning behind every word that was spoken. Nothing about that moment was wasted. It became part of a larger process that is now beginning to unfold around your life. My child, what makes this moment so powerful is that someone cared enough about you to pause and speak to God on your behalf. That kind of love carries spiritual weight. It shows that your life matters to people, even during the moments when you might feel unnoticed or alone. And heaven responds to that kind of compassion in ways that often surprise those who witness it later. As the days move forward, you may begin noticing small changes that feel difficult to explain. A situation that once caused anxiety may suddenly feel calmer. A problem that seemed impossible may begin revealing new solutions. Guidance may appear at the right time when you need direction the most. These are often the quiet ways heaven answers prayers that were spoken with sincerity. The response does not always appear immediately, but the moment the prayer was spoken, the process had already begun. If you believe that God hears every prayer spoken for you, and trust that heaven has already begun moving in response to the prayer spoken last night, take a moment and type 777 in the comments. Let it be a simple declaration that you believe God is working behind the scenes in ways that will soon become clear in your life. My beloved child, When a sincere prayer is spoken for someone, the effects of that prayer do not always appear immediately in ways the human eye can recognize. Often, the response from heaven begins quietly, unfolding step by step through moments and circumstances that slowly begin to change. That is why, in the days following a prayer spoken on your behalf, there may be subtle signs that something around your life is shifting. These signs may not arrive as dramatic events, but they often begin as small changes that gently remind your spirit that you are not alone and that heaven has heard what was asked for you. One of the first signs you may begin to notice is a sense of peace. Entering places where your heart once felt restless, situations that once caused anxiety may begin to feel calmer, even if the circumstances themselves have not completely changed yet. This quiet peace is not something that appears by accident. It is often the first way heaven answers a prayer, by strengthening the heart of the person who needed support the most. When peace begins to replace worry, it becomes a signal that God is working in ways that may not yet be visible, but are very real. You may also begin to notice that certain situations around you start to shift in unexpected ways. A conversation that once felt tense may suddenly become easier. Someone may offer help or encouragement at the exact moment when you needed reassurance. Opportunities that once seemed distant may begin moving closer to your reach. These moments can feel like coincidences at first, but often they are the quiet ways that God arranges events in response to a prayer spoken with sincerity. When someone lifts your name before heaven, it opens the door for guidance and support to begin entering your life in new ways. Another sign that the prayer spoken for you is already having an effect may come through moments of clarity. There may be situations that once felt confusing but suddenly begin to make more sense. You may find yourself feeling guided toward decisions that bring peace rather than stress. Sometimes answers arrive not through loud announcements but through simple moments when the right idea or direction becomes clear in your mind. These moments are often the result of God gently guiding your thoughts and steps as the answer to a prayer that was spoken with care. At the same time, my child, it is important to remember that whenever change begins to form, doubt sometimes tries to return. There may be moments when your mind questions whether anything is truly shifting. This is natural, especially when you cannot yet see the full picture. But do not allow those thoughts to weaken the faith that has already begun creating movement around your life. The prayer spoken last night was not empty, and the response from heaven does not disappear simply because it unfolds quietly. God often works in ways that require patience and trust. The person who prayed for you may never fully know how their prayer affected your life, but heaven knows. Every word that was spoken on your behalf is still echoing in the unseen places where God is guiding events and protecting your path. As you move forward, stay open to the small changes that may begin appearing around you. They are often the first signs that something meaningful has already begun. If you feel ready to receive the blessings and guidance connected to that prayer, take a moment and type 222 in the comments. Let it be a simple way of declaring that your heart is open to the peace, protection, and opportunities that heaven may already be preparing for you. My beloved child, as you reflect on everything that has been revealed in this message, remember one powerful truth. Your life is not as unnoticed as you may sometimes feel. There are moments when you may believe that your struggles are yours alone, that the burdens you carry remain hidden from everyone else. Yet the simple fact that someone paused last night and spoke your name in prayer is proof that you are not walking this journey by yourself. Somewhere, someone cared enough to lift your name before God, and heaven listened closely to every word that was spoken. That moment was not small, and it was not meaningless. It became a point where compassion, faith, and divine attention met in a way that has already begun touching your life. Sometimes, God works through people in quiet ways that we do not immediately recognize. He places concern in someone's heart, prompting them to pray for another person at exactly the right moment. The person who prayed for you may not fully understand why they felt the need to do it, but their heart responded to a gentle prompting that came from a place deeper than simple thought. That is how many powerful moments begin through a quiet act of care that connects one person's faith with another person's need. The prayer spoken for you last night may have been one of those moments where someone's compassion opened the door for heaven to begin working in your situation. You may never know exactly who spoke your name in that prayer. It could have been a close friend who has been thinking about you, a family member who senses the challenges you are facing, or even someone who simply felt a sudden urge to pray without fully understanding why. But the identity of the person is not the most important part of this story. What truly matters is that your name was placed before God with sincerity and hope. And whenever that happens, heaven responds with attention and care that goes beyond what we can see. As you move forward from this moment, allow your heart to hold on to the comfort that comes from knowing you are remembered, not only by people who care about you, but also by the God who listens to every prayer. The challenges you are facing right now do not define the future that is still unfolding ahead of you. Sometimes a single prayer spoken at the right moment becomes the beginning of a quiet transformation that slowly begins changing the direction of someone's life. The peace that enters your heart, the guidance that begins appearing in your decisions, and the unexpected support that may arrive in the days ahead can all be connected to the compassion that inspired that prayer. Your journey is still unfolding, and the story of your life is far from finished. The struggles you have faced have already shaped the strength inside you that will help guide you through the seasons ahead. And now you carry the knowledge that someone believed enough in your well-being to bring your name before God. That truth alone is a reminder that hope continues to exist even in moments when life feels uncertain. Heaven has heard what was spoken for you, and the care behind that prayer has already begun reaching into your life in ways that will reveal themselves in time. So walk forward with renewed faith and confidence, knowing that your name is known, your struggles are seen, and your path is being guided in ways that may surprise you. If this message touched your heart, and you believe that God hears every prayer spoken for you, take a moment and type 1010 in the comments as a sign that you trust the journey ahead and the unseen support surrounding your life.